My name is Rita Simonksik, and I am the owner of Kapako's English Bulldog Kennel. I have been dealing with this breed since 2004, and I started going for dog shows in 2005. I bought my first English Bulldog in 2004 from a respectable breeder. This first dog of mine was named Darylai, who was not nice at all, but we loved him very much, and I learned all the pros and cons of this breed. The history of the Bulldogs can be led back to the Middle Ages, when they were working with butchers and were actively in bull baiting and of course in dog fights, which, at that time, was the free-time leisure activity of the English working and middle classes. These bulldogs were real working dogs with a much leaner built-up and longer nose structure, at least, this is what we know about them. As these activities were banned in England in the early 18th century, these ancient bulldog types began to disappear and went almost extinct in all forms. The English dog lovers began to deal with the breed again in the late 18th century, but they focused on a different, more lovable, and less work-oriented version. Breeders began to cross the old bulldogs with pugs, and this created a more stocky, shorter, and more dense type with a shorter nose structure, who were aimed for shows and popularity, and not primarily for hard work. This was the time when the most well-known English Bulldog Society, the Bulldog Club Incorporated, was founded, which still exists today. Maybe, the outlook of the Bulldogs has changed a lot, but their character remained almost the same. They are a very persistent breed, they will not give up what they started, and they are stubborn as hell. This is why I think that if you would like to have a dog like this, you should never forget about these traits, and I never advise them to be kept by first-time owners. These dogs need a lot of consistency, they are almost like a child. If you ruin or mess up their character, you will never be able to correct it or turn it back, and this instability can become aggression. It is not a theory, it happened with me and my first dog, who I handled partly like a child and not like a dog. The result of this was that he attacked the ankles of normal passengers, and nobody could visit us without the dog being locked away. If it was not the case, blood was spoiled. Of course I knew that this was not right, but at that time I could not do anything with a dog that was messed up by me. He was my first dog of this breed. Otherwise, they are very good dogs if you can raise and train them consistently. Usually I do not recommend them for people who would like to go to a dog school with their future dogs. Of course you can take them, but they will do only what they want to do. With my first dog I was enthusiastic about going to the dog school, but it did not really work well. They are very difficult to be motivated. They are not the kind of dogs who would do everything for a sausage or some kibbles. With kids they behave ideally, and they are perfect friends and guardians of children. With them these dogs are very patient, and the kids can use them as armchairs, as little sisters, or brothers and friends. From the first moment you take your English Bulldog home, you have to behave with them in a very consistent and coherent way, and you have to set up the rules of living together. If you once let them to go up to your bed, they will do it in their whole life. With other dogs they can behave well if they are the opposite sexes. To keep two males or two bitches can be problematic, because conflicts can happen, and they fight very seriously. They usually do not give up, and these fights can be very bloody, and sometimes deadly. What is more, because of their stubborn nature, if two bulldogs once had a fight, they cannot be kept together in the future. Usually I recommend this breed for those people who are determined, consistent, patient, and are not fastidious. You have to remember in connection with them that, partly because of the pug blood in them, as they are a short-nosed breed, they are constantly in a kind of state that they lack oxygen. This is why they are shedding all time, in winter and in summer as well, mainly if they live in flats. Another issue is the snoring, what they do all time and very loudly. Because of their body structure, their digestion is very fast and, as a consequence, they produce a lot of gas that they release frequently, if you understand what I mean. If you are having a romantic dinner with your family, they can easily ruin the romantic atmosphere with some gigantic farts under the table. So, if you choose the English Bulldog, you have to think these factors over, and you have to know that this dog will be hairy, will be loud, and quite stinky sometimes. I see a lot of example that people buy English Bulldogs, and they ask in Facebook groups that how to break this, or that habit of their dogs. It is not right this way. If you can accept these traits then okay, and go on with a Bulldog, but if you cannot, then it is better for you to choose another breed. They are a dog breed who hold on to their owners very much, and almost impossible for them to change owner or family, because it can lead to serious mental problems. The health status of the English Bulldogs improved a lot in the past years. What you have to take care first of all is their breathing. It is a misconception that if they have a longer nose they can breathe better. Their standard defines that they should have a rectangular head shape, not like this, but imagine it this way. If it exists, then the respiratory organs are better placed, and it is easier for them to breathe. When you go and select your puppy, look for big and open nostrils, and there should not be a big nose wrinkle on the dog, because it can cover the nostrils. Secondly, you should look for clear eyes with clear tear ducts, without brown or colored rill marks. In the former years, entropion and ectropion was quite widespread and common among them, so you have to look for the nice, open, shiny eyes. In connection with their tail, the nice, long tails are preferred, and not the very short, curly ones. If a bulldog has a very short, curly tail, it is very difficult to keep it clean. All types of fungi and bacteria can be under it, and dirty wounds can cause a lot of pain to the dog. And another thing that I am always asked about is the dysplasia. I usually say that all English bulldogs have a kind of and level of dysplasia because of their body structure and shape. They are not German shepherds with a completely different anatomical build-up. Their pelvic bones are much wider, which means that what is big problem for a German shepherd can be absolutely normal for an English bulldog. If the movement and running is not a problem for the dog, then accept this body shape and handle it as a normal thing among them. When you are selecting your puppy, do not choose a too wrinkled one, as too loose skin and wrinkles can lead to eye problems, loose joints, and some other problems. Look for a stocky, active puppy with tense and tight skin, and you will be okay.